Today, my colleagues and I are announcing that the first tranche of the government's $100 million commitment to supporting redeployment of workforce that's laid off because of Covid-19. The first tranche of $28 million is going to be spent here in Gisborne, Tairawhiti. We recognise that the importance of the forestry industry, of the log trade here in the East Coast, means that this industry and this community was the first and hardest hit. And this program we're announcing this morning of supporting redeployment of the workforce into other work is a way to ensure that the forestry supply chain here in Tairawhiti gets through this crisis and is in a position to when the market changes and demand for logs picks up, that the industry here will be able to grasp that opportunity and get back into business. We want businesses to stay in business and workers to stay in work. So I'm announcing this morning that $28 million is going to be spent, provided by central government and administered through Gisborne District Council on local roading work, including road maintenance. That's the biggest component of it. Hazardous tree removal beside local roads. We're fast tracking Mr. Jones's $1 billion trees work to bring forward a number of jobs in that area. Conservation projects through the Department of Conservation, and we're also allowing for 300 workers from the forestry sector to undergo training so that they can shift over to other construction activity, particularly on the roads. So this work will be rolled out over the next few months, and I want to say that government has been able to move decisively to step up to make this work happen because the leadership in this community in Tairawhiti is organised. They came to us with proposals that made sense. We found work. It's not make work. It's projects that we have brought forward that would have been done sometime in the future, and we've been able to bring forward that work. It's going to keep nearly 300 forestry workers in work over the coming months. Instead of sitting at home on the couch, forestry workers are going to be doing real jobs and getting paid real money. We've brought forward a range of projects so that their skills can be redeployed in new work. Now, we can't save every job and we can't save every firm. This is probably the greatest economic shock that our country has faced since the Second World War. But our government is determined to do what we can. You saw that in Tuesday's announcement of a $12.1 billion economic stimulus package announced by the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister, including more than $5 billion in wage subsidies for New Zealand firms so that they can buy time to put together survival strategies that will help them get through this crisis. We also want to explore, using the $100 million that Cabinet has earmarked for this purpose, the possibilities of finding creative ways to redeploy workers. And this announcement this morning into Gisborne Tairawhiti is the first instalment of that work. And I'm inviting regions from around the country to come to us with creative solutions like what we're announcing this morning in Tairawhiti for other parts of the country. Now I want to hand over to Minister Shane Jones.
We are fast-tracking the allocation of finance to build a brand new factory down at the Gisborne Timber Hub. That will be up to the value of $12 million. We are also fast-tracking some of the money that was originally allocated to the Tairawhiti. You may recall it was $19 odd million, and $2.5 of that is also allocated. The details are in the press statement, but I just want to endorse what Minister Twyford has said. The reality is we need to show velocity. We want the pūtea in the community, in the hands and pockets of the employees and the owners of the logging contracting entities, and this is a test where us politicians in one of our provinces can show that your interests are our interests and we are with you.
Thanks, Minister Jones. Minister Jackson.
Just support what Minister Twyford has been saying, and also add that our wage subsidies are being embraced right around the country, also down here, where we're talking about $585 for each employee with the different businesses who can show that they've lost money, lost 30% of their earnings. So we're supporting our businesses. Can I also say we've put a lot of work in here in terms of he pautama rangatai with the young people here through Minister Jones's PGF, and we're re-looking at some of the contracts because obviously some of the opportunities are not going to be there. However, we're going to be very flexible with those contracts. We might be able to redeploy some of our kaimahi and our young people there. We're open to that. My officials are coming back to me over the next few days because we've put out about $3.5 million, about $3.5 million in Tairawhiti just with young people. So I'm very pleased that we've got agreement that there has to be flexibility around those contracts. Kia ora.
Thanks, Willie. You know, the reason we've been able to move forward so quickly in supporting forestry in Tairawhiti is because of the strength and the quality of the leadership in this region. Iwi, Trust Tairawhiti, the industry, and of course local government leaders have really stepped up and made it easy for central government to get behind them and back this initiative. So I want to hand over to Mayor Rehet at this point.
Thank you so much for coming to the game fast, because we need it here, and we do know it will get tough for other industries as well going forward. So a big shout out, thank you for coming here today, sharing this good news with us. We know a lot of people will be assisted, and we look forward to walking this road with you.
Kim Holland is the Chief Executive of the Eastland Wood Council, and Kim's played a key role amongst the other economic stakeholders in pulling this program together. So Kim, over to you.
The thing that we all know is that we don't know how long this is going to be, but we know that we're going to get through it, and we know that we're still going to need skilled, trained people to do the mahi. And so being able to redeploy them and use the existing skills and expertise that they have will enable contractors to keep their businesses, it will enable workers to still be employed, and that flow-on effect to support whānau as well. So we just want to endorse the government's action and the responsiveness, and particularly acknowledge our MP Kerry Allen for actually accelerating the whole thing.
Yeah, I also want to acknowledge both Kiritapu Allen and Meka Whaitiri. Having two such strong members of Parliament in this region has also made it possible for us to respond so quickly. And Meka, would you like to make a comment?
Look, I'm just totally welcome the announcement, the government's response to a region that is a very exciting and resilient region that is absolutely going through some tough times. So I just want to endorse the announcement today and the leadership, local leadership, that has played a significant role. This is the beginning, not the end, and it will absolutely role model how I think other regions can approach something as dreadful as this pandemic. So ngā mihi kia koutou.
Thanks, Meka. Kitty, do you want to add to?
I just too want to reiterate the comments already made. Here in the East Coast, our whānau have already experienced a lot of tribulation over the last couple of months. Acknowledge the local leadership for the way that they pulled together to ensure that central government could understand the plight of this region. So today's package, in addition to the announcement made by Minister Robertson and the Prime Minister on Tuesday of the $12.1 billion, both of those in conjunction to provide the immediate support that our whānau here in Te Tairawhiti need. And I want to implore and acknowledge that this is an ongoing piece of work that central government has with the Merrills Forum and the regional leadership here as we continue to endure the potential storms that are still ahead of us yet. So ngā mihi kia koutou.
Whilst this is an economic package, it's also a call out to the Tairawhiti. We are going to have to change the way we live. We're going to have to tolerate quite a lot of handicaps and disruptiveness to prevent this disease from moving at its own free will amongst us as a people. And that's a big challenge for us as Māori. There will be no more large tangihanga. Our bishop in the Taitokero has forbidden us to conduct our church services in the way we traditionally have, and I think it's a big call out to all of the Tairawhiti leadership we are going to have to change until such time, as Mr. Twyford said, 18 months, I think he said, that a medicine might be found. So my call to Ngāti Porou and all the iwis is that the old game is over. There's a new normal.